Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Clone Hero. I don't even know what I'm starting with. I did not play in the intro. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the playoffs. We are finally here. The CSC Open Tournament. That's what we're doing. The 2025 Open Tournament playoffs are finally here. These players have worked through the group stage. The top two from each group have advanced to the playoffs, and now we are right into single elimination right out of the gate. I am Demand2413, joined by my co-caster, Vagu. Vagu, I'm so fired up I can't even think right now. How about you?
Look, I don't even know if you could think to begin with, the man. That's my heel turn coming full circle. July, thank you for the prime. That's 4 months in a row. They're rooting Moose on. We're rooting Moose on to have a good match with Teamii. That's our first one on the docket tonight.
Yes,
How
it
are you
is.
feeling about that?
We're going to get right into it. We've got 3 matches on the docket today. Short stream, we've got 3 right here in a row, then we're going to cut it. But these matches are all, like we said, single elimination, win or go home for these great players. The first match will be MoosePickles from the United States of America versus Teamii from Switzerland. So a little international bout here between the two players. We've got MoosePickles' 20th seed in the playoff versus Teamii, who's our 45th seed in the playoff. And, you know, they've both had very strong runs in this tournament so far. MoosePickles has a lot of FCs in that group stage, as a matter of fact. It is actually 8 different FCs for MoosePickles, while Teamii has 3, plus some 100% overstrums. Looking through Teamii's previous stats, a lot of really close matches and really low miscounts, but it's going against a veteran in MoosePickles, where their consistency and their pathing is really going to be tested, Vagu.
Yeah, I don't know. Is this the year that Moose breaks forward and gets into that elite league?
It could be.
Has played quite a few. Or played last year, or opened 3. Had a pretty deep run in the playoffs. I mean, tough here though. 1 match and you're out. I mean, that either player could go home tonight.
Absolutely. And I do have some information for everybody. We do have our bans in. MoosePickles with the first ban, not exercising the right to move that ban to Teamii. So Moose picks Mishuan Impossible as their ban. Teamii is banning Cracks of Light. So there are bans to start. Solo pick off the board for Moose and Cracks of Light from Teamii, so we will see how it goes. I mean, we have no data on these players in terms of how they performed in the playoffs, but both of these players seem fairly well-rounded in that group stage.
Yeah, Moose was pretty, taken to task by Java, who we may or may not see on stream in the playoff bracket, and Teamii not having too hard of a time getting through the groups either. Lost to top seed and 4-0 in all other matches. So really consistent for both players, but I respect not deferring in the playoffs because this set list is so much harder. Having the first pick and getting an early lead is that much more important.
Absolutely. In these playoffs, once it's win or go home, you want as much control as possible, and if you're not feeling extremely comfortable on every song, why not take advantage and put the pressure on early with something you know you're confident on?
Yeah, and I wonder how confident MoosePickles is on Nekomijin versus at 110%. That is
that is the first pick. It is not what I expected either, but I'll tell you what, the hybrid pick is the first one going right to it. We will see how this goes. It's our first look on stream at matches in this playoff set list, which is really difficult, but go ahead, Vagu, you were making a point.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, this seems like this is a song where you get kind of crazy math rock, mathcore vibes. The riff is all over the place. The tempo changes constantly. Maybe it's a good one to kind of gauge your opponent. Maybe that's Moose's thought process. I don't know. I don't claim to think like a Moose, but I certainly try.
All right, well, here we go. We are starting it off. It is best of 7. If we get to a 7th song, we will go to the tiebreaker, but for now, it is MoosePickles, the former elite leader, working their way back, trying to work their way back. First, they're going to have to face Teamii, making their playoff debut, representing Switzerland. It is playoff clone hero. They're both ready. I'm waiting right now.
Oh, right now, you say. I am ready to crack out my new slogan. If Teamii wins the match, it is Swiss don't miss, but we shall certainly see if that works out.
Well, if you're just talking intro, you are 100% right. Swiss don't miss. Moose does miss, but does not miss the phrase. They're huge. Missing a phrase this early in the match would be very rough.
Yeah, and this first two phrases, the activation is going to be on next note, so really missing it is not good.
No, absolutely. And we'll see how path savvy these two players are. This is both of their first match. The playoffs has only been open for 4 days. We've only seen one actual match up until this point. This is really the second played match of the entire playoff. So the level of preparation you might see from the players this early may differ a little from what you'll see. The whammy, Moose does get that phrase. Teamii does not, just barely.
Yeah, and neither play. That's not going to bother Teamii at all. The activation isn't going to come until after the next star power. I haven't studied the path enough, but I do not believe that there's any good way to cheese that little bit of whammy in an early act there.
Yeah, and the miss there from Teamii almost got through that whole section, but now MoosePickles is going to take a whopping lead off of this star power phrase.
Yeah, and that is so unfortunate. Moose right there on the activation, but Teamii missing the bar. That's very unfortunate. It's going to be balloon out to 30K. And I don't know where your backup act is. This is a very slow section coming up here in the middle of the song.
Of all the places Teamii could have had their first miss, maybe the worst spot right there. So there is the backup act now, going to try and make up some of that lead that Moose has built up, and just going to have to trust that you can get back on path, but that overlap coming right here. So on very different paths now, there is that overlap.
Yeah, that's a tough overlap. That's all I can say.
Well, MoosePickles, since that first miss, has really settled into a groove here. 715 note streak and counting. Gonna get that overlap, and the chords come, and that lead will grow even larger on MoosePickles' opening pick here.
Yeah, MoosePickles showing why they picked this. Incredibly accurate through the, a couple misses early. Maybe that's just nerves. Maybe that wasn't, being fully prepared. Hard to say.
Yeah, regardless. Man, and MoosePickles hits that unbelievable out of the gate, coming out hot. MoosePickles was warmed up and ready to go, clearly.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough Alp for the Swiss to climb. A former Elite Leaguer showing up early, at least.
Showing up large, no doubt. As MoosePickles continues the consistency showcase right now.
Yeah, and Moose just, again, perfect on path, and almost hitting one of the crazier sections of the song.
Yeah. One of the crazier sections you'll see in the tournament. I mean, there are some really hard sections in this set list, no doubt, but that one is no joke. Nice vibes section here, by the way.
Yeah, I would say this is the second vibe section of the track here. It's a very interesting kind of, I don't know, I believe this is two artists, so you get kind of the frenetic pace of one leading to the more melodic of the other, and you get kind of that dichotomy between the two.
Both players getting a chance to breathe here. As you can see, still on different star power paths. Teamii will just about fill the bar. Moose not far behind, though. I mean, again, with the playoff experience that Moose has, there's the earlier act for Teamii. Might have actually been pretty solid. We'll see how it all ends up. But as I was saying, missed there, actually. Hold on. A couple misses there under star power. Big for Teamii. Coming back now. Definitely going to make that lead a little smaller.
Yeah, 20K, but missing that star power phrase. You put the hands to the head, you know it's no good. With one act remaining in the song, if Moose can just hit that last star power, it might be curtains in song one here.
It very well may be. Gets out of the strum section clean, or maybe not a strum section for some. Might be some under-tapping there for people with that tap note string, but it is MoosePickles making it out clean enough, getting that star power phrase, and it's just going to be cruising to the end here for MoosePickles, who looks to take a 1-0 lead here in this best of 7.
Yeah, Moose activating, look at that, beautiful section, overstrums at the end of it, but 40K, it's going to be enough. Ends up being
that's
about
a very
34.
It's a very nice finish by both. Teamii actually missing less notes on MoosePickles' opening pick, but it will go to MoosePickles, and the pathing and the hitting of the phrases ends up being the difference there. It is 1-0 to the higher seed MoosePickles.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. It hurts when you lose a song with less notes hit, but the notes missed were so crucial. I mean, 2-star power activation for Moose to the good, and really one. Teamii had a pretty good backup act. But
I'll tell you what,
activations, it's a big difference in this tournament.
It's absolutely huge. I had a note on Teamii, actually. When they played, they were the second seed in their group. When they played their first seed, that was Viking, they lost 0-4, but they actually missed less total notes than Viking in that match. So there was actually just a lot. There was a song where they had the same amount of misses and they lost. There was a song where they had less misses and they lost. And then a couple songs where there were a couple more misses. But, I mean, it just goes to show Teamii's ability to hit notes isn't going to be the thing that keeps them from succeeding. It's going to be potentially consistency, pathing, and making sure you get those phrases. It's so important in the playoffs.
No, absolutely. And Teamii maybe realizing Moose banned a solo, let me pick a solo. Full speed X is coming at you. For all the Mike Orlando haters in chat, rise up.
Actually, sit down, because this isn't your time. This is Mike's time.
This is Mike's time? Oh. Never been a better time than right now.
This is Mike's time to shine. Shout out Random Days. The Orlando aficionado. That doesn't really know.
Who is Mike Jones?
Okay.
Is my only question.
That's a great question. Those who know. But here we go.
Absolutely.
This is Mike Orlando out of the gate. Plenty of tricky solo sections throughout this song. We do have a bit of a delay here. It was looking like we're likely going to get a restart.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. Maybe
going to continue to play until told otherwise by the ref.
Yeah, maybe Teamii, I don't know, maybe they weren't ready for that start time, maybe trying to ask for it. I don't know if it's a hardware issue. The referee would know.
It's going to be referee's discretion here. If they have them play the rest of the song, it is not looking good for Teamii out of the gate. Worth noting that if it's a hardware issue, you're absolutely allowed a restart. I don't think you're getting a restart if you're just like, I wasn't ready. So they're figuring it out right now. MoosePickles wisely continuing to play, even without Teamii playing. And I would recommend all players, if you're ever in a situation like this, keep playing, because you never know what's going to happen, and we will get the restart here. So here we go. For real this time, song number 2, 1-0 Moose. Teamii's first pick of the match. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I'd be curious to find the reason out there. But I'm okay with the ref's decision. Obviously, they have more intel than we do here in the booth. But, I mean, Moose kind of was shredding the opening.
Yeah, no doubt. So a lot of opportunities, actually, in terms of songs that offer tappable sections. This is probably one of the higher rates of tapping that you could get in a song in this tournament so far. A lot of opportunities for you to tap away some of these.
Yeah, a lot of tapping here. They're going to pick up a 3rd-star power phrase here, and we are going to look for the activation at the beginning of the sweeps. There's the sweeps.
Both right on it. And both right on it in terms of notes hit, too. Oh, barely missed there right at the end of that section. Not going to get that phrase either. Moose is and maintains that combo. MoosePickles off to a fantastic start.
You know, I don't know if Teamii did their homework, but MoosePickles did FC Necrophagist in the tiebreaker. Kind of good at solo. I mean, the band might just be doesn't like Mission Impossible, maybe not their skill set of solo. Tough to say.
It's tough to say. I mean, this early in the tournament, it's a risky move in single elim. Could you see some potential gamesmanship banning a song they actually like for future rounds? You never know. It's been done before.
Yeah, very true. I mean, MoosePickles probably not too worried about the mind games. Teamie's going to activate a little early. Moose going to look to pick up another phrase and then activate 2 blues after a blue sustain, I believe, is the path.
And
I know chat will correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm sure they will. They always do. But MoosePickles showing why they've had such success in the past, and they're looking to repeat it again here.
Yeah, and that's great for Moose. You do not want that overlap there. That's fantastic for Moose.
Yeah, wow. What a start so far for MoosePickles.
Yeah, you know, a lot of solo songs, if I do miss star power or if I get off the path, I feel a lot of players shouldn't worry with a big note dense song, because a lot of the time you can just kind of, if you're hitting the notes, you can kind of make a comeback if your opponent starts to miss. It's just tough when your opponent's only missed once.
Yeah, and speaking of notes hit, both players nailing that chimney section. Moose did have their first drop of the song, so no more FC on the table. Still a 50k point lead, so I don't think Moose is as worried about that, but it is definitely a strong performance by Moose. Is going to take quite the collapse. Teamii just not quite able to find their footing on this one.
Yeah, I mean, the Moose is on the loose, and Teamii is just sitting on the crossroads like a mid-sized sedan.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. And Teamii playing well. I mean, again, there's a first dropped phrase from Moose. Gonna need a couple more of those for the comeback. Still plenty of song left. We're just over halfway, but it's a tall mountain to climb.
Tides might turn, though. One more act could be crucial here. But then it comes down to, do you know the path? Do you know where you want to go with maybe an overlap act? Try to really get everything you can out of that star power bar.
Well, the solos don't really slow down from here on out. It's going to continue to be challenging. So it's going to be about consistency and activations here.
Would you consider the solos full speed?
At this speed, yes. Even though it's live. And so far, Teamii with the stronger performance on this section. Under star power hitting a lot more, bringing it back. Getting to the strum section, still a lot of combo Teamii. Moose dropped again. Under star power there, able to build it back.
Yeah, quad it back. It was a 70k deficit. It's now only about 40. I mean, few misses here or there, few star power phrases. Anything's possible.
For sure. Teamii has definitely found their consistency on this song in the second half. Chimneys again. Teamii does drop there. Moose holding. Gets out of it clean. Both of them do.
Wow.
Both hit the phrase.
Moose sweeping both chimneys like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins.
Wow. No one is going to get that reference.
Chat, have my back. Thank you.
Chat, it's up to you. Did you get the reference? So back there from Teamii.
References are not. I don't know if Teamie's star power bar is going to be enough to counter MoosePickles'.
Oh, man.
Oh, but the overlap won't come for Moose.
Yeah, no, the miss from Moose there. But that phrase is going to go unused for Teamii, as this is the end of song. Crept it back within 30k. Better solo percentage, but it was too little too late. It's going to be MoosePickles taking the 2-0 lead.
Chat does get the reference. MoosePickles gets the win. 2-0. Wow. A great performance from both. 99% from both players on a song I consider to be one of the harder solo songs.
It didn't feel like a 10-note difference either. Like, early on, a lot of little trip-ups from Teamii here and there, but then the second half just nailed it. But, again, those early phrase misses, it's the phrase misses that's been doing it for Teamii.
Yeah, phrase misses are killer. I mean, Moose did drop a couple phrases himself. Like, it wasn't one-way traffic of dropping phrases. It's going to happen to both. It's going to happen to all players. This set was some of the star power phrases. And if you can hit them consistently, you're probably going to end up winning.
Yeah, it's definitely going to help. All right, so here's the next pick. I mean, what direction do you go if you're Teamii? You thought maybe solo was the way to go with the Mishu and Impossible ban. There it is. It's a hybrid pick. It's going to be CSQN GNB or GDBG extended mix. I definitely did not need to say the full name of that song, but I felt that it was important. So there you go. Teamie's pick is in. It is song number 3. This is a huge swing song here for Teamii. It either is 3-0 after this or 2-1. Two vastly different scenarios.
Yeah, this is where the rubber meets the road. If you're Teamii, you cannot afford the third one in a row. It just so much pressure gets heaped on at that point.
It's either a one-song game or it's down to your last song for Teamii. The CSQN. We will see.
This is interesting. This is interesting. This song has a lot of very odd phrases, very techno-heavy.
Both players nailing that. No overstrums, no problem for both, getting into this intro very nicely. You've got to imagine both players have at least settled in a little bit here, 2 songs in. Those nerves are really heavy early, but once you've got a couple under your belt, there's the first act there. It's going to be on Teamii, and then Moose is going to follow here. Let's see who has the advantage out of the... And it's going to be Moose, 2K point lead.
Moose on path there, waited for that 4th orange. The excellence of execution on display.
Wow. And speaking of excellence, both players really handling this open note section very well. Very tricky timing on these strums here, but both players, like I said, on it right now. First miss there from Teamii with the act. That's going to be ×2 at the start of that activation. Moose holding.
Yeah, Moose waiting for the optimum moment here to hit it. Going to be waiting for a yellow after the second set of orange triplets going to be coming up here momentarily, and there it is from Moose.
And maintains the combo, and look at all those chords under that star power. Huge point swing for Moose. Very well done. Teamii will get an activation here to get some points. Not completely left in the dust, but that miss there is not going to help their case, and Moose just standing firm as a rock right now with that combo continuing to grow. FC still on the table for Moose.
Yeah, I'm feeling for Teamii right now. How? I mean, besides just missing less, how can you do anything against a Juggernaut?
It's really tough. It's looking like it's been a tough draw for Teamii, who's playing very, very well on this set list with a heightened difficulty. But MoosePickles, again, with the consistency and starting out on single elim, it is a tall task. And I mean, at the halfway mark, still got a gold ring.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think Teamii could take this performance against a lot of players at this first round of playoffs and probably take a dub.
We will see later on how the rest of the field is performing. We got 2 more matches on the docket, but in terms of how we're starting off here, very high-level play from both players, no doubt. Both definitely deserving of this playoff spot.
Yeah, and again, it just looks like difference in pathing and obviously execution being a big part of it. I have been liking the backup activations from Teamii, though.
For sure. You can tell there is a comfortability with the charts for Teamii, certainly. Because the activations have not been just like, oh, I'm going to throw it out whenever. There's certainly been a method to the madness, dealing with all of it. And that is part of the tournament, really, is maintaining your composure and staying on task even when you miss. As Moose gets through that cleanly, very nice.
Yeah, back to this weird, tricky strum section here.
Man, so clean.
Yeah, and Moose with the final activation, just racking up the lead.
And that will be it. MoosePickles, FC 3-0.
Yep. No Caster's Curse, no nothing. I mean, how does one attempt to tackle a Moose-sized problem?
Not a lot of answers. When you're going up against that, it is 3-0. On your song pick, to have your opponent FC like that is never easy.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think Teamii picks here? It's so tough, even because if you win, Moose gets the next, essentially the next 3 picks. 2 picks, and then if it goes to tiebreaker, that's obviously chosen. But it's not an enviable position here.
Yeah, and if you're Teamii, you might go with the song you've played the most, maybe the song you've practiced a lot recently, maybe whatever you're feeling best on the day. The pick is in quick. It is the last solo song available. It is Little Red Riding Hood, and we will see if Teamii will be Little Red Riding home after this one. It is game on the line, season on the line for Teamii.
I don't know, but Teamii better be afraid of the big bad Moose.
We're rolling mid-season form. Are we in the booth?
Absolutely. And I'm a
go.
little disappointed you didn't give the full title of this one, but if you'd like, we can fill that in later.
Please, I beg of you.
You beg of me to do the Etude Tableau, Opus 39, number 6. I mean, I should probably do that as well.
There you go. So does
there is a section of this track that Tapper's Delight. I believe it is What Big Hands is the title of the section.
Man, and I mean, you can see, if you've never seen this chart before, anyone out there, just incredibly tricky. These interlaced chords in between all these single notes. It's all tap stuff, but it's still it's like a tongue twister for your fingers. It's something you don't normally see in charts. So very unique skill set to be able to read and execute.
And Teamii, again, not super familiar with the path. That is not a great spot to activate when the rest of the song is so note dense.
Could be a comfortability issue as well, but I mean, with all the chords coming up, and Moose has shown they have done their homework for this match. Moose certainly not ready to go home after this one. There's the act.
Here we go. What Big Hands, the section I dread personally. Both players looking comfortable, though.
Yeah, very comfortable. Both players ripping this right now. Unbelievable stuff from both. Oh, the miss there from both right on that phrase.
Yeah, and Moose missing the phrase. Teamii with a little advantage.
And the lead, not only by points, but by star power. Teamii now with the latest lead they've had in a song so far. There's the act. We'll see how it turns out. The miss there with that act, not ideal.
Yeah, but Teamii should be getting one more activation here. I don't know where Moose is on path. Forgive me my lack of knowledge.
Well, I'll tell you what. Either Teamii's got this last act and Moose doesn't, or Moose gets one more and Teamii's done. It is just under a 10k lead. There is that star power phrase for Moose. Act right there.
It's a great spot to act.
There's the last phrase. There's the act there from Teamii. It is so close. It might come down to the end. Oh my gosh, Teamii's got the lead. They've got to hold. They've got to hold or it's over.
Oh.
And they get it. Unbelievable comeback. A 1,000 point difference. They stay alive. They steal one from Moose. 3-1 with their backs against the wall. Unbelievable.
Man,
what a performance.
That was insane.
Wow.
Teamii clawing away, escaping the clutches of the big bad Moose. Gonna go to a 5th. Balls in Moose's court. Gets to pick no matter what for the next 2. If it goes another 2.
No, absolutely. Unbelievable stuff by Teamii. To keep it within striking distance and continue to perform regardless of how the entire match has gone. Incredibly solid stuff there. It is now Moose's second chance to pick, and we are going to be strumming and humming. It's a new world 125% speed. It's quick.
I don't know. I think this is quick, but I think it's so structured in a power metal setting that I think some of the other fast strumming songs are much more difficult because you can't get the pattern down. This is very much by the numbers. Okay, here's a 5. Okay, sets of 3, sets of 3.
Sets of 2.
Sets of 2. Like, this is classic riffs.
It is. It's replicable.
Yes. However, what most players will find, if you drop in these sets of 2, it is kind of difficult to get your combo back, but Teamii doing a great job there, picking up after one
getting
drop.
back into that. Not dropping that phrase either, as we mentioned, always huge. MoosePickles out to a strong start. Teamii found the rhythm there. There's the act. I mean, you're getting a decent amount of points here. But when you're MoosePickles and you're planning ahead with these activations, you know you're getting optimal points.
Yeah, Moose is going to look to activate here in the sets of 3, and we'll get an overlap, I believe.
So on that star power phrase goes that activation, and there's the response. So Teamii won't be too far behind out of this, assuming nobody drops. And it's about want to say 6-7K lead for MoosePickles out of that first activation of the song.
Yeah, and you know, if you're going to activate a 2-2 against somebody who's essentially activating 4, as long as you're both hitting, I mean, 6K is not insurmountable.
And there's the activation there from Teamii. I mean, it's never bad to activate when there are a lot of notes and you're hitting everything. Certainly there are optimal activation points, but if you're comfortable and you can make it happen, consistency can take you a long way. So not the worst idea, but it's MoosePickles on top of it right now. Teamii with that star power advantage, so we will see both players really hammering it down now.
Yeah, but what you can just see with the pathing advantage that Moose has, knowing that you're going to burn that star power before you do the whammy, it's almost made the star power back to parity.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, that lead in star power will become null, but there's the activation there to make up for that a little bit. You are getting some of these chords. So it's really close right now. MoosePickles, assuming no misses, will jump back ahead out of this, but can't miss here. Huge to maintain combo, and there's the first drop, but Moose didn't miss any phrase, I don't think. He did. Oh my goodness, that's right. He didn't overlap. Or he didn't pick it up, yeah. So Teamii now with the star power advantage. There's the act. Gonna take the lead here on MoosePickles' pick. Going to the halfway point.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, Teamii's on one right now. Both players here, I believe. I think Moose on the backup strat here is just going to wait for the solo to activate. This solo can be a huge chunk of points. And that's where Teamii is going to be at the disadvantage. Finally does get their act off as well, though.
Oh my goodness.
But Moose is pathing, just eking a lead out here.
Both players are tearing this up right now. Nobody wants to lose this song. Still so close. Oh my gosh, it is so close.
Oh my goodness.
And back into the strumming. Both players obliterating that. Teamii at a 1950 note streak.
This is some top level stuff.
Oh my goodness. What a treat. 2,050 notes and counting for Teamii. MoosePickles approaching 1,000. Not 3,000.
Yeah. And this will be very interesting to see here. We're going to come down to the last two activations. One should be right there at the start of the solo, and they're both pretty much on the money.
Huge solo right here. Cannot drop if you're either player.
Yep, great overlap from both. Needed it.
Moose with a chance to win. Teamii, tournament life on the line. Has to play it. Moose drops. Teamii is gonna barely not have the lead.
Yeah, now we need Teamii to hold. There are only 2 star power phrases left in the song.
Oh my goodness.
They need to not activate early.
They need to not activate early. Both players activate there. That could cancel out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I might be incorrect. There might be one more.
Okay. It is a 3,000 point difference. Teamii in the lead. Is there enough whammy to make up that much difference? I don't think so. It's going to have to be a miss, or Teamii might have this. I think they can defensive activate here. Just activate right as Moose does, and they should be fine. They both go here.
Yep. Next note. Perfect.
It all comes down to consistency.
Yeah, saving humanity and possibly saving their tournament life.
Unbelievable. Teamii does it again. It's 3-2.
Teamii escaping death once again. -1 with an overstrom. That's nuts. Huge for Teamii.
-1, +1. Those cancel out. So a dirty FC there for Teamii.
I want to make note of MoosePickles solo 2B. Just dropping that solo is so hard to get back in. Dropped 15 notes in that solo section alone. Basically the whole difference.
Respect to both players showing ghosts. But man, yeah, like you said, as soon as you drop that one time and it just falls apart, that cluster of notes was the difference, regardless of all the pathing that went into Moose's side. It wasn't enough to make up for Teamii's unreal consistency throughout that song.
Yeah, I don't know. The Teamii showing resolve. Moose with the final pick.
Final pick of the match, whether we go to tiebreaker or not. I'll tell you one thing, we are going to strum tiebreaker. I appreciate broadcast letting me know, but with the song picks being hybrid, solo, hybrid, solo, hybrid, I had a feeling. And
I think we see Buried by Time and Dust here. Really tear your opponent's arm up before the tiebreaker if it goes that far.
That could be the move. The thing is Moose ready to strum that fast for that long this early in the tournament? Because usually you can bank on people's arms being warm, ready to go, but it can take a little while to get your strumming arm ready to handle that for a song. So, I mean, you got to be comfortable too, because Teamii, like we've said, is not going quietly into the night on these songs, and here we go. Maybe the hardest song available. It is Chemical Warfare 110. The Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock classic, recharted and sped up for the tournament. Here we go. It is all going to come down to this. It is MoosePickles versus Teamii. It is either tiebreaker or the win. Single elimination. Here we go.
This is going to be great. I just hope that we see a tiebreaker. That's my bias at play. Can Teamii clutch?
Teamii has clutched twice in a row here. It's going to be a big, big ask for Teamii to come all the way back. But here we go.
I mean, what can you even say? Cinema, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury.
Absolute
all in Twitch
cinema.
chat.
Shout out Twitch chat. You guys are getting a treat to kick off the playoffs. Here we go. Big time strumming.
Yeah, and I
These
think
little
this
resets here really tricky.
Yeah, I think this is much more difficult than a New World.
Yeah, and if you're not just talking about these verses, it's also that solo that is really tricky.
Oh no, Teamii drops that star power phrase.
Oh, and the consistency for Moose already looking good, but not too far down net. Not too far down yet. As Moose drops there on some sustains, it's gonna inch Teamii back a little, you know, gaining as these notes go on, but it's not a lot. That star power phrase could be huge, but you gotta make sure you hit the rest.
Yeah,
Both
Teamii,
hit the activation.
Teamii not lying dormant. There is life.
Absolutely. And coming out of that activation, it's an 8,000 point difference. The activation immediately there from Teamii, who takes the lead temporarily. It might not be the exact path, but anytime you're in the lead, your opponent's going to feel a little extra pressure.
Yeah, and pressure can be huge, but it looks like Moose has that consistency down pat.
It might come down to these solos, unless one of these two players can just start really hammering down these verses, which MoosePickles so far the stronger of the two on the verses. We will see though. It slows down here. Hittable section, nice activation here from Moose. Gonna get a lot of points out of this. A lot of chords, just a lot of consistent notes. Gonna get an overlap as well. Teamii will not get the phrase. Oh, that is brutal.
Yeah, is that the canister of mustard gas going off on Teamii?
It very well could be. Some are saying. And we get back into this original phrase we've heard throughout the song, about to get into this incredibly difficult solo coming up here. We will see if MoosePickles can put the cherry on the cake, or if Teamii has another magic trick up their sleeve.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't count Teamii out.
There's the first drop.
That's gonna broaden the gap. Teamii drops as well under star power.
Oh my god, Teamii just hit the whole thing. Moose almost did not get out clean. So that is a perfect solo from Teamii. Gonna get the solo bonus advantage. A little closer, but those resets, those little breaks in the strumming are what's separating Moose from Teamii at the moment.
Yeah, it was 40k, about 30k now. I mean, there's half the song left. We have time, but another drop star power phrase is not going to help Teamei's case.
Yeah, really, really crusty section coming up. Crusty, for those who don't know, is basically where there's a lot of hammer-ons and there's some buried strums, I like to call them. That's what a crusty section is. I'll point it out when it pops up. But so far, MoosePickles a little better.
Do you know whose chart this is?
This miscellaneous chart, and yeah, if you didn't No, that is the section I was talking about. Moose hits the whole thing. Wow. Oh,
Yeah, a
man,
lot
gets out
of
that.
tricky technical strumming in here. Crusty, not too crusty for Moose. Misses the whole trill there, though. Very odd.
Yeah, and Teamii, I think, was right on in terms of percentage of solo hit. So no solo bonus advantage for Moose, but it's the consistency advantage that is proving to be the separator here in song number 6.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the earlier tracks and the couple Teamii's clawed back, Moose has missed star power, but when you're not missing star power, your opponent's hitting all of them. The deficit 60k. It'd be hard to come back here. Quarter of the song left. Not a great drop.
Not gonna help.
Either. Does not help. No.
Some tricky gallops surrounded by some single notes here. Here, have to have some pretty solid strum control here. Nothing compared to what's been happening earlier, but still very tricky. And Teamii, I'm sure, frustrated here at the end.
And I mean frustration. Sure, I get. And Teamii, great competitor. I don't think if I'm Teamii, you can. This is a great performance. You can hold your head up high knowing you lost in a match where you played extremely well. Because Moose gonna probably sail away here, hitting under star power, just extending that lead. It's 110, it's 120 almost.
And it's 700 straight for Moose to close it out. I mean, you talk about the right song pick at the right time. MoosePickles coming in clutch right at the end. There was a lot of pressure that had built on Moose after dropping that 0-3 lead. One song away from tiebreaker, but they will close it out. We do have the match win. That is 4-2 for MoosePickles. Teamii, the 45 seed, pushing the former Elite Leaguer all the way to the brink of tiebreaker, but it's just not enough at the end. It is MoosePickles advancing. What a match.
A beautiful match. I think Teamii should be really proud with that. I mean, great performance. It took Moose Chemicals breaking the laws of the Geneva Convention at the end and breaking out the chemical warfare to take it home.
Really remarkable match by both players. Both players had a phenomenal group stage run as well. I mean, this is the 2 seed of their group we're talking about here with Teamii. I mean, that's just silly. That performance on the playoff set list, which is a true step up in difficulty from that group stage. So really, really impressive by both. What a start for this stream. So unfortunately, Teamii has to go. We will get MoosePickles, the winner. I was about to say champion, not yet. But it is MoosePickles with the win.
Calling your shots.
No, I'm not calling my shot. That is not a prediction. Congratulations. That might be mean. Congratulations, Moose. Really crazy match.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, I want to just go right into talking about the match because what a roller coaster it must have been. Starting out, missing more notes, but still stealing that first song. Obviously crazy. But I want to get into after you lose Little Red right at the end, and then A New World. How are you feeling going into Chemical Warfare, one song away from tiebreaker?
I'm feeling a little nervous going into Chemical Warfare, but to be honest, like, I had such a stupid miss in A New World that I probably should have won it. I just missed like 15 notes straight in a row.
Yeah, we were talking about it.
We noticed that, yeah. It's so tough in that solo.
Yeah, I usually hit it. I miss it sometimes. It's totally like luck of the draw sometimes as well. So I knew it wasn't like I was playing bad necessarily. It was just like, shit miss, you lose a song, go into the next one, forget about it. So basically, since tiebreaker was gonna be Strum, I was like, I'm going with my best pick left, and that's Chemical Warfare. So yeah,
definitely a strong position to be in. Definitely a strong position to be in when you have free reign over pick, knowing the tiebreaker's already locked in. So that definitely was a benefit for sure. And I want to ask you one more question. Tell me about your thought of banning and picking first rather than deferring.
Like what I think about the system?
Well, why did you choose to go about it the way you did for this match?
I think regardless, my ban was going to be the same. And I think regardless, Teamie's ban was going to be the same, so it didn't make any sense for me to defer. So I think going with the Mission Impossible ban was the right move, and then getting the first pick right out the gate, and I think that was the smart move to do.
Yeah, it worked out very well. And before Vagu, I turn to you for a question. I want to take a second to re-emphasize the fact that you're talking about having some rough misses there mid-match, but like credit to Teamii for being so locked in and consistent the whole time that they were forcing you to have to be so clean, or else you were gonna lose. Like,
Pretty
really
much, yeah.
kept you on your toes the entire match. Because Teamie's not here, definitely wanted to give some extra love to Teamii, representing Switzerland very well, I might add. Really impressive
Yes.
performance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic. I mean, I'm going to give a little bit of flowers here to Teamii again for their seating position as well. Really took it to you. I made some great moose-based jokes on commentary, as I always do when you play. Talk us through your FC. How great did that feel to FC a playoff song just right, first match? Just get it out of the way?
Oh yeah, it felt really great. I haven't FC'd that song yet until today. I got a -2 on it earlier. I was feeling pretty comfortable on it. There's a couple of parts that are definitely chokeable, like the open note hopo sections that reappear throughout the song. But I felt really great afterwards. I did yell an expletive in my house after I did that. But it felt really good. It felt really good.
And now you are going on to play the artist formerly known as Craze Firebird. How do you feel about that matchup?
That is
I think it's going to be a pretty crazy match, to be honest. Firebird, we have played plenty of times before. I know Firebird's skills and his weaknesses. He knows my skills and my weaknesses. I think we're both going to have a strategy for when we have our match, and hopefully I just take one song pick. That's what I'm hoping for. I think I can, and I think he'll definitely take at least one song pick off of me, because one of us has to get 4. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really exciting match, and if Firebird, if you're watching, I'm excited to play you. It's going to be awesome.
Wow. What are you going to ban?
What am I going to ban? Well, I mean, I'll tell you right now, it's not changing, and Firebird is really good at the song. He knows he's really good at the song. My ban is staying the same. It's going to be Mission Impossible.
Well, there you go. There's the preview for everybody.
Wow.
Thank you for the insight, Moose. Appreciate it. Well, a fantastic start to the playoffs streams, the first match of playoffs streamed, so huge congratulations on the win. Really exciting stuff. Cannot wait to see that next match. Make sure that's streamed either here or personally on one of your channels, because that
Definitely
is going to be must-see twitch.tv.
For sure. And if I could just real quick give a shout out to Teamii for playing with me. That was great. Teamii, you played awesome. And shout out to GHCH as well. So
Very nice.
That's all I got.
Very nice. Heck yeah. Very awesome. Well, thank you very, very much for being on stream. Shout out to Teamii also for, as Jobo points out in chat, those EU players have to stay up pretty late to be on our stream slots during the week. So much appreciation for that and being willing to play so late in their time. And shout out to Switzerland one more time.
Shout out Switzerland.
Swiss.
Let's go.
Teamii actually organizes Swiss Clone Hero tournaments. So, I know they've done some in-person stuff. So, it was a real battle of the tournament organizers in this one. So, so very cool to see. But, yeah,
only one of us could advance.
Exactly. Unfortunately, man, I was thinking it is going to be a shame that one of these two has to go home, especially, I mean, Teamii was the 2 seed in their group, which is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to move forward. We could talk all day, but thank you, Moose. Really appreciate you taking the time for the interview. Best of luck moving forward.
Absolutely. Good luck everyone else on their matches tonight. Take it easy, guys.
And there he is. That's the real Pickled Moose, MoosePickles, with the win 4-2. As we move on to our next match of the evening, it is going to be a second round match. We did have a drop earlier due to some unavailability, unfortunate, but it happens. But we are right into the second round. One of these players moving on to the top 16. It is the 5 seed Burdee versus the 28 seed darkbloom. Both of these players have done very well, but Burdee has been on an absolute tear this season.
Yeah, we're getting some early on Let's Go Darkblooms in the chat here as well.
The fan clubs are out. It is sudden death, as we said. Once whoever wins this is going to get a second life. When the reseeding happens next in round 3, you'll get the reshuffle of players, and you get that second life. It becomes double elimination. So both of these players playing for an extra life, and here we go. We're about to get things rolling already. Burdee has banned CSQN. Darkbloom has banned Scale of Sorrows.
Interesting.
Okay. So CSQ. So no deferral again. Burdee choosing to get that first song pick as well. And
yeah, I don't think we're gonna see. I don't think we're gonna see a lot of deferring now in the playoff section. Well, I just think it's advantageous to have the pick if you're the top seed. And it looks like Burdee stole someone's lunch money. That apparently was one of JZ_77's 99 problems in Twitch chat.
Unfortunate. Well, this song has 110% speed. That is not a good segue at all. How do you pronounce this again?
Necomajin versus.
Necomajin.
I believe that's a versus.
Thank you. It is definitely a versus. It's gotta be. It's not. What are we doing? But yeah, here we go. It's gonna be Burdee versus Darkbloom here. I didn't even get to my notes. Representing New York, Burdee, and representing Maryland, Darkbloom.
East Coast battle.
Yeah, both players done very well. Darkbloom was actually a 1 seed, was the 15 seed going in, lost in their last Group O match to their 2 seed Cheeto Speedo. They played a tiebreaker. Cheeto and Darkbloom both had -1s, but Cheeto won on points. So just barely losing that last match, losing a lot of spots in that playoff, and because of that, you end up playing someone like the 5 seed Burdee, who was 16-1 in Group G in songs. So very strong players on both sides of the aisle here, and we will get going in just a moment.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting because we have really no intel. Darkbloom getting a bye due to, unfortunate drop from the playoff section earlier. So, I don't know. This is, if I was Darkbloom, I would have waited a little bit longer to play my round 2 match, but I love the hopping right out of the gate, going for it, all guns.
No fear. Anyone, anytime, anywhere for Darkbloom, it seems like. Here we go. Song number 1, Burdee's pick. The blazing speed on that highway for Burdee, for those who haven't seen that highway before, and a nice little color pattern there for Darkbloom. Also really cool that they have, the bloom in their name as a, not subscript, the other one. But both off to a very nice start. First drop there from Darkbloom. Again, the sporadicness of this song is part of the real challenge of being consistent on it. There's that activation, followed there by Darkbloom. Missed there under star power. So Burdee off to a really nice start here.
Yeah, really flying off to a hot start. Speeding along with an incredibly fast highway. You're not joking.
You are joking.
Look, I've been known to be a jokester. It's understandable why you would want to think I am joking, but that is a quick highway and a quick 30k lead for Burdee to start here.
Gets out of it clean. Oh, but misses right after. Does get the phrase, though, so Burdee far ahead in the driver's seat at the moment. Still a lot of song to go, but early returns saying Burdee feeling very strong on this one.
Yeah, and looks like Dark didn't get one of those star powers. And this is tough because you want to be out of star power before coming into this first slow section. I love in Twitch chat, he is coma cooking.
Both of these players, proud Morning Gang members. Shout out to the Morning Gang.
Yeah, and we
really
saw
just
this.
That really just means you're from Europe. Sorry, I was making a joke. Go ahead.
Well, no, but we saw this in the Dark Moose, or not Dark Moose, MoosePickles. What am I on? There's too many moose. Where just activating in that slower section, it just so detrimental.
You mixed up Dark Pickles and Moose Bloom.
Dark Pickles and Moose Bloom. Hey, the gang's all here. What about Fire Burdee and just Bird?
God.
Okay.
And just Bird.
And just Bird.
So now just about past halfway, and it's commanding lead for Burdee here. Very, very, oh my goodness. Almost got out of that section as well. A very tricky one there with those tap notes. Triplet ascends.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of really good navigation of tough sections from all players so far.
Definitely.
I mean, the bar has been raised, certainly, in Open 5.
Oh, certainly. As I mentioned in that first match, I mean, the level of difficulty has increased. Great combo there by darkbloom to hit all that.
Yeah, Burdee again hitting like a super insane part and just overstrumming on like this first slow note out of it.
Right at the end. And I mean, it's tough with Burdee because they are another player that seems to have a lot of skill sets pretty well covered. Looking to the group stage, they had 3 Pepsi Man bands, 2 on Stirring Seas bands, very different songs. So, I mean, it's really looking like Burdee's got a nice comfortability across skill sets. Makes it so much harder for a lower seed to go for the upset against a player as highly seeded as Burdee.
Yeah. I always think that a lot of the very good players, I mean, if you look especially at Elite League and the playoff participants, if you can cover multiple disciplines, advantage in your court, certainly.
Absolutely. And the best way to improve at multiple skill sets, a lot find that being in tournaments tends to help a lot. When you get exposed to a lot of different types of charting, tends to exercise some muscles that you don't normally in maybe your personal play on the game. But Burdee, as we continue going on and on, I mean, the score continues on and on as Burdee, really strong opening pick, clearly had a strong plane in place here. And going to this ending section, that is crazy fast, Burdee. Really strong. Second half doesn't quite get it, but what a run. 561. Burdee wins the first one.
Yeah, Burdee soaring off to a quick start there. That was a great pick for Burdee. Just 99%. Dark just maybe, I mean, Joe was saying hybrid pick against Dark is rough for Dark. Maybe knows a little more about Dark than I do.
Very, very well could be.
Where do you go from here?
Well, darkbloom's first pick of the match coming up, so we will get a very good understanding of what they are comfortable with, because when it's single elimination and your life is on the line, you gotta go with what you can play.
Is Dark more strum or solo based here?
Well, Darkbloom's FCs were Fly High, Ride Low, Pepsi Man, and Final Boss in match. So you've got to think solo, maybe Little Red Riding Hood, maybe we see Mishu and Impossible. Could.
Yeah, that is very
potentially.
possible.
Actually, no, that got banned.
No,
I lied.
banned. You're a liar.
I lied. I'm a liar. What's the right answer?
Yeah, I think we could see a solo pick, certainly.
The casters are doing wonderful, Orion. Thank you for asking.
Oh.
Shout out Twitch chat. Worried about us. Can you believe that?
That's so nice of them.
Wow.
Early chemical warfare being dropped by Darkbloom here.
Well, if you weren't warm, you're going to be warm after this one. Here's the pick. It's Chemical Warfare 110. We just saw it a moment ago. We're seeing it again. And let's see. I view this as a bold pick because of this was one of the songs that early on there was some, is this maybe too hard for groups? Now I think that it's settled down a bit since then, but very difficult. And you would think that the higher difficulty songs you'd want to stay away from against higher seeds, but like I said, you go with what you're comfortable with when your life's on the line. And darkbloom clearly feeling good about it. Let's see. It's Slayer 110, Chemical Warfare.
Bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off.
And the missed phrase early is going to give Burdee a huge step forward early. Obviously, so much song left, but again, like we mentioned earlier, having that 1 next to your name rather than that 2, you feel a lot less pressure.
Yeah, I mean, that drop of a phrase has got to be, has got to put a little bit more sweat in the palms of darkbloom, certainly.
And it's those little breaks between strums that have we've seen it now a couple times from Teamii first and now from darkbloom. Just a little bit of a consistency issue. It's really tough, and if you have a loose strum bar, that could also lead to some overstrums if you're not careful with how you release that strum bar out of this speed of strumming.
Yeah, the breaks here, I mean, it looks easy when the players hit it. Go boot up this chart. Overstrum for days.
Yeah. And there's that first drop there from Burdee. So it is a star power difference now, like a full activation's worth. But as of now, around 10K, Burdee gonna have to execute under the star power, but so far so good on their activations throughout the first song. We'll see how they're feeling on Chemical Warfare. Miss there from Burdee. A little bit surprising there on the chord sustains, but again, tournament play, there's always pressure on the line, so there's always a chance of a missed note, a little slip up here or there.
Yeah, let's see if Dark can hit this next phrase. Gonna have to activate immediately. Good from Dark.
Huge, huge, huge. Gonna get some points back on the tail end of this, I think.
We've kind of seen some weird misses in those sustained notes. Like maybe players are trying to like rest their hand a bit too much and just kind of sliding off, or maybe like not fretting for the next part. It's been interesting. That's the second miss from the higher seed on, well, honestly, the easy portion.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it might just be so much focus on rest my strum arm that you just kind of lose a little focus. Here comes that crazy hard solo we talked about earlier. Activate first from Burdee, then from darkbloom, both avoiding it on the solo.
Yeah, and I think for both players, if you're not comfortable hitting the solo, a path wants you to activate on that solo, but if you think you're not going to hit a large portion of it, I love the play of let me hit 8x.
Yeah, fast strumming, get some chords under there. So we did see a miss early in this section from darkbloom, but then Burdee has missed there to kind of counteract that. Still within striking distance, there is the act from darkbloom on a pretty slow section, but we will see how that plays out. Burdee activating right there.
That's a much better act by Burdee. Drops a little of it at the end of the phrase. Not going to be too much of a killer, though.
And Burdee makes it out of that clean, too. As I say, it drops there. darkbloom almost made it out of there, too. The players so far in that crusty section have been doing pretty solid overall.
Yeah, very odd. Burdee seems to hit these insane phrases, but then just drops immediately after the phrase is over. Like, is going so fast with the strum hand, just doesn't react in time.
And you can see now, darkbloom has started to settle into this rhythm here on this, in this portion of the song. Just the reset's feeling a little more comfortable now, you can see. If Burdee keeps having little drops here and there, it's not over yet, and that ending is not free on this chart, like you saw earlier, so really still up in the air, despite a 37K lead.
Yeah, the ending kind of reminiscent. I believe this is off the same record as Raining Blood, correct?
That is not correct.
Oh, not correct? Okay. Sorry, I don't listen to a lot of Slayer Twitch chat.
I don't listen to a lot either. I just listen to that one album a lot.
Well, it's reminiscent of like the Flood outro, right? That's how it sounds like to me.
That is not correct, Jovo. I'm not going to answer any more questions about that album because
you got some squams, and we're about to see the squams. I'm going to call them the squams.
The squams are inbound. Burdee maintains that combo. And very tricky ending. Both players looking strong. But Burdee getting a little more... Wow. Actually impressive by Burdee. Right as that star power ended was when they missed. I don't know if... Pardon me. I don't know if they blamed that or not. but it worked out really well in terms of maximizing points under star power, and that's a very nice win for Burdee. Gonna make it 2-0. Very commanding performance there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit of shakiness on the pathing from both players there, but I mean, overall, I think a good performance from both. I mean, anything over 98% on some of these, depending on your skill level, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we can see in game that Dark's missed a lot in that second solo, which is it's difficult. I mean, I'm sorry that Moose and Burdee are spoiling how hard that is by hitting all the notes.
Yeah. Really does not paint the picture of how difficult that is, because they just ripped it. I mean, that whole match they were, and I mean, we've seen some very strong. Wow, quick pick here from darkbloom. It's full speed X live. Mike is back.
Mike is back. All right. I think this is actually a great tune. I'm not a huge Mike Orlando stan, but I think one of the better tracks.
We will see how this pick goes. This is the second pick by darkbloom.
I don't know why that's tickled me so pink, but I do love Mike Orlando Bloom. That goes very hard. All right, let's see if both players can stay on path here. I think this first act can be really huge because activating before you get 3. I just think that we saw the score discrepancy really pop up in Moose's match just from that first act alone.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Both players nailing that. darkbloom with the early miss, but that's about it. Everyone else has been solid. Similar whammy, both get the phrase. So here we go, activation on this solo. It is solo time. This is why darkbloom picked it. Let's see how it turns out. Burdee looking strong to start out here in this first solo. Makes it out clean. darkbloom just at the end drops there. Burdee staying strong, gets the overlap. And
yeah, I don't know if the overlap's exactly what Burdee was looking for, but a 20k lead and a huge streak through solo 1. Gotta feel good.
Huge. Yep. And then outside of it, right after, drop there from Burdee. A couple missed frays, so leaving it back on the table now for darkbloom. Not out of it yet.
That's very odd. Burdee missing like 4 or 5 times there in one of the very easy parts. Moose says need overlap. Okay, thank you, Moose. That's why you're the Path King.
Pathing from the Path King. As darkbloom now not only takes the lead, but extends it all the way out to 8k. Only 1 phrase advantage now for Burdee. Going to the second solo here.
I think both players might be off the beaten path. And really in a dogfight like this, the only thing that matters is the notes hit.
Yep. And when it comes to that, so far so good for both. Really tricky part of that section here. Both nail it. Activation there from darkbloom. A slower part of the solo will overlap that. They had the option to stop whammying there and let that end so they could then build up their next one. Going with this instead, the chimney section. Burdee misses. darkbloom maintains the whole time. So even though it was under star power, Burdee actually not getting as much of a lead as they might have had. It's now even on star power, about 4,000 point difference. darkbloom, really strong streak right now. We will see if they can maintain it. Second half of this solo here.
Yeah, and Moose saying that Burdee's still on path, even though they dropped the star power, it kind of got back to the path. But Dark had a great streak going. There.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, no. Like you said, huge streak for darkbloom. Might still end up with a solo bonus advantage on this. Makes it out of that clean. That might be the difference. Let's see, points-wise.
Yes, only about 500
slightly.
Points in solo.
But the miss out of the solo again from Burdee, and now darkbloom, because they maintain that combo, builds up that point difference again, or I guess closes the gap a little bit. And a phrase advantage. There is the act. Gonna overlap here. Burdee is gonna hold. Coming up section.
I think Burdee's waiting for the tappa.
Burdee the tappa. Miss there from Burdee though. Darkbloom still in the lead out of the phrases.
Yeah, that was a rapid
Burdee.
succession of misses from Burdee. Burdee missed twice under star power, but is much cleaner through that strum section.
Absolutely ripped that strum section. Takes the lead right back, then misses again. It is back and forth. Now Darkbloom in the lead.
Oh, the samba.
It is less than 1,000. Darkbloom in the lead, but Burdee with a slight notes hit difference. Chimneys again. Who's going to be more consistent? Darkbloom under star power. Huge points there. Burdee holding on. Miss there from Darkbloom. Burdee with the phrase. Down. They're going to need every second of that star power they just got to come back.
It's a 3/4 bar. I think Burdee, barring misses, is in the driver's seat. Because Dark is not going to get that bar. We dropped a bar after the chimneys.
And activation there from Burdee. It's going to come down to this. And how many times they miss. Oh, there's one right there. Burdee inching back in the lead. Missed there from Darkbloom. Missed phrase.
No.
Burdee's going to get the overlap there.
And Dark needed that. And Dark needed to get that phrase and activate immediately to have a chance. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Dark. The cards were lining up. Everything was looking okay, and that two dropped phrase in the end of the song was just too much deficit to come over.
Absolutely insane ending. We saw 3 lead changes in the final solo. It is Burdee that is going to come out of that with the commanding 3-0 lead.
Oh, I do have to give my, I'm going to coin this now, my patented, this is the Dick Van Dyke Award to Darkbloom for hitting both chimney sections cleanly.
Very nice.
Any player who hits both chimney sections cleanly will be crowned, or will receive the Dick Van Dyke Award.
So you got that to look forward to, as well as chance at the Elite League and the prize money. So that's also on the table for these competitors. Very impressive. But no, I mean, like, you talk about big-time performance in that solo. Burdee had those little misses here and there, but when it mattered the most, and on that final activation, they absolutely nailed it, kept their composure. Darkbloom kept fighting back. It just was not enough. And now they're down to their final pick of the tournament, unless they can pull this out after going down 0-3.
And Dark has to know that, they kind of gave it away at the end there. That's
no, absolutely. And to remind everybody of what the prize pool is that these players are competing for, as the song Mission Impossible is picked. First time we'll see it on stream today. Fantastic. Love to see it. It is the solo pick from Darkbloom for the end. Gonna say these players are competing for the prize pool of, well, first place is receiving 350 pounds plus a cracked Neo S. Second place gonna receive 175 pounds, as well as a Turpy Customs guitar modding kit. Third place going to be getting 75 pounds, and the top 8 receiving invites to the Elite League this season, making its return. But here it is, Mission Impossible. Burdee off to a strong start. One miss there from Darkbloom. Burdee not missing that phrase, so it is still even on star power activation from both.
Yeah, that was dangerously close to missing the phrase. I don't know how Burdee got away with that. Maybe he barely brushed a wing on it as they flew by.
And as you can see, a real test of your finger dexterity on those ascending triplets, constantly changing their formation. Very, very tricky to hit that.
Yeah, those ascending triplets can eat my leftover Easter lunch, because I hate them.
After 3 losses, Darkbloom looking to resurrect their chances here with a big performance on Mission Impossible. Kind of a force on that one, but you know what? I'll take it.
You know what? On the 4th song, they rose again in fulfillment of the scriptures.
There's the activation there from Darkbloom, getting this overlap here on some sustains. I don't think that's ideal.
Yeah, I don't think that's an ideal spot to activate in the chords there. This is the one song I haven't pathed because I am banning it every single time. But pathing may or may not be the focus for darkbloom. Burdee obviously put in the hours committing the paths to memory.
Yeah, I mean, they're both on 900 note streaks. They're both ripping this 100%, but there is a 30K, well, almost 30K lead for Burdee. Now, darkbloom is going to cut into that here. Big activation there. A lot of notes under this activation. Missed there from Burdee. darkbloom maintains. Is going to get really close to bringing it all the way back. Not quite. Burdee will get the overlap there and get the rest of this solo in there.
Yeah, and both players were in the Century Club until a couple of misses. Awesome choke from Burdee. That's beautiful solo.
On top of the 300-point difference in solo bonus, the real difference is going to be how many points under that star power Burdee was able to squeeze out at the end. So it's a nice lead now. Burdee with the star power advantage and an 11K lead.
Burdee, again, missing barely before the star power phrase and getting the phrase.
Dancing with the devil, but getting away every single time is Burdee as of now. Able to get away with it. Man.
Cue the Aaron Paul Breaking Bad. Can't keep getting away with this.
As Burdee so far has kept getting away with this. I mean, darkbloom, again, so solid with the play. It's just a couple phrases and a couple of activations that has really been the separator here.
Yeah, and I think if Dark could have gone a little bit further on the pathing, how different would the whole context of this match be? Because clearly they're hitting most of the phrases and most of the notes.
And most of the hard sections as well, especially on this one, has been an incredibly strong performance. Missed there from Burdee, though. That's the thing with Burdee, and I think that's the thing for Burdee, if they're able to move forward, is just shoring up some of this consistency stuff and the easier stuff, because that is where you're going to find your difference in some later round matches. But this one is not over yet, as darkbloom, about even now on star power, misses under star power could change everything.
Yeah, Burdee just going to have to hold the nerve. There's not much time left.
And that is it. The door will shut on darkbloom. That is it. It is a 4-0 sweep from the 5 seed Burdee, who received that bye and will now receive a ticket to the top 16. They will be in double elimination with boss songs. What a performance by Burdee.
Yeah, and not to discount Dark. I mean, that was great. I think, especially with how hard these songs are, getting 98s or 99s on all of them, I would have loved to see a little bit more pathing knowledge is really what I think made the big difference in this one.
No, I couldn't agree more. And I mean, it's within 11 notes of notes missed difference. darkbloom had the longer note streak on each of the last 2 songs. Didn't matter. Burdee was able to come through when it counted most and really perform under star power, which was critical in these matches. Or in these songs, I should say. In the matches, too.
Matches, songs, interchangeable. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, Burdee really soaring ahead, flying away with it. Be interesting. I mean, I think that's probably, and I'm going to ask, it's probably a huge weight off their back now, just knowing, all right, I'm in double elim.
Yeah, for sure. And here they are joining us now. It is Burdee and darkbloom. First of all, Burdee, huge congratulations. You are the first player in the top 16. You've reached double elimination and boss songs. Congratulations. How are you feeling after that? I mean, it's first match of the playoffs and off to a great start.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mix of good and also I know what I need to work on. Like, it was good to get the 4-0 and it was good to build some confidence on some songs I was a little shaky on. But I also know what I need to go back and practice, which also feels really good. I feel very focused in on what I need to work on.
Absolutely important, especially moving forward where things are only going to get harder. Now you have some extra time. You're able to get this round 2 match in so early to get ready for the next set of matches, which is huge. Shout out everybody in chat. Make sure you get your matches in early so you have more time to practice if you advance. Anyway, darkbloom, it was unbelievably close in Full Speed X. I mean, the lead switched 3 times in that final solo. I mean, at that point, it's you're 0-2, and you're in it, and you jump into the lead. How did you feel in the, I guess specifically the back half of that song?
I was chilling, just really just playing, and then I dropped a phrase, and as soon as I dropped the phrase, I immediately was like, "What? How did that miss?" And then I saw the lead like split pretty far again, so I was like, "Okay, well that makes sense." But I wasn't really like paying attention to the the 1 and 2 at the top. I was just kind of playing.
I mean, it's a smart way to go about things because really you can't affect your opponent. You can only worry about yourself. So honestly, a very strong mentality to have. And you also, I mean, like, it's not like you played poorly. You had the higher note streak on each of the last 2 songs. So certainly we're playing well. How did you feel about how you performed today? And in the tournament as a whole?
Group stage, good. Playoffs, I've probably could have played these longer or put more time into it, but right now, I mean, like, I don't see myself playing any better performance-wise in the next like couple weeks, just because I don't feel like I'm playing very well at all in general. So I felt like it was easier to just get it out of the way and not be so stressed or pressured about it. So
no, definitely a
easier
lot
to
of
just
pressure
play.
in these later matches for sure. Vagoo, what do you got?
I was gonna say I would like to ask Dark. Hey, your comment in Twitch chat. Not a single path in my brain. Is that valid?
That is valid.
Okay.
I know the first activation in one song.
Because I know there's a lot of time that goes into the grinding, and like you were saying with the stress, I think if you want to avoid the stress, the grinding of the paths can just be painful sometimes.
Yeah, I had actually only played a couple of these songs. I think the first 2 songs we played. Neko, I've only played that 3 times, including the one we played today. And then the rest of them I've played before, or I've played more than the rest of them. So not too. And Burdee, you banned a song that I have actually only played 1 time.
Oh wow!
Favored me.
Burdee, sigh of relief. You have like well, now that you're the furthest ahead in the bracket, you have some more time to practice. How do you feel now, knowing that like the stress is kind of off, that the next match is a double elim now for yourself?
I'm feeling definitely a lot of the stress alleviated. I'm also just really excited to actually be playing the boss songs for the first time in the CSC Open, because these are a really great batch of boss songs. So I really can't wait to grind those more now that I'm actually potentially playing them in match.
It'd be really exciting to see, as the 5 seed in this tournament, had a really strong group stage, and I mean, with this performance here, I don't think your seed's going to be going any lower, I'll tell you that much. So really impressive stuff throughout by both you guys. Both had fantastic runs through the tournament. Darkbloom, to get the seed you got. Unfortunately, you couldn't get your first match in, but glad you got this one done, and great performance again. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. Any last words, thoughts?
Well, Dark, as you know, we're fellow Morning Gank members, so I hope you are able to get some good licks in on me in another Morning Gang VC with an inevitable clan line, my friend. Probably will not take much time.
Oh, I have the unspoken power to make Burdee miss.
This is
I don't have to have the little whammy thing that make like, you can't play until you whammy. I don't have to have that. I just my aura, as they say, is that. So.
And Dark, any shout-outs you'd like to give before you're banished to the Shadow Realm?
I know who wants it. Shout out Jobo.
Wow, there you go. The Jobo shout. Well, thank you so much for your participation in the tournament. And Burdee, congratulations. You will advance, as we said, to top 16. First one there. So best of luck moving forward into the double elim stage. And with boss songs and all that, should be a lot of fun to watch. So we're looking forward to it for sure. Thank you for playing on stream, both of you guys.
Yeah, thank you. GG's, Dark.
GG's.
Great stuff. They're from Burdee and Darkbloom. There they go. It is New York. New York.
I'm strumming here. I've been wanting to say that for the longest time.
There we go. That is the second match of the stream. We've got one more for you. And boy, is it a doozy. The two closest seeded players that we're going to see today. It is 31 seed MJ versus 34 seed Kanarogh. Did I say that right? I forgot. I asked how this is said earlier and I messed it up. But MJ from Arizona, the state of Arizona, from the country USA. Kanarogh representing Brazil. Shout out Brazil. All the fans. We've seen a lot of them so far this season. Great to see. Love the international hype. Love it, love it. Both of these players, very strong. Kanarogh, the newer challenger in these tournaments. MJ has been around the block a couple times, Fugu.
Oh, I've seen quite a few MJ performances, and I think the seeding might be a bit lower than was expected coming into this. Was dismantled by Ducky, which I don't know, that one on paper hard to say. I know Ducky was very enthused about the win. I don't know. I haven't seen any of their performances, so this will be very interesting here.
Well, here's how it went down. Kanarogh had two songs that they FC'd. They FC'd Sulfur, and then they FC'd Fly High every single time it was played in match. I think it was 4 different FCs of Fly High. It might have been 5. But yeah, because I think it was banned in one match. So 4 FCs of Fly High in match. Very impressive from Kanarogh. Certainly you'd think, especially on the solo end, going to give MJ everything that they've got.
Yeah, I think chat is helping you. I believe it is Kanarogh.
Kanarogh. Thank you very much, chat. Appreciate you all.
Kanarogh. Yeah. Much like 4-syllable, much like Canyonero, the classic vehicle from The Simpsons.
And they've got the football emoji. That's cool.
I think crack a smile a few times.
Yeah. We're live, which means we're back.
We're back.
For all you people. Thank you, everybody who stuck around. All the true fans are the people who are here right now after the restart. Shout out all you. You're all amazing.
I mean, this is a fast-paced world. 30 seconds is a long time to not have some sort of electronic stimulus in front of you.
That's like 7 straight TikToks.
That's at least 3 YouTube shorts.
Is at least. But yeah. So we're gonna get bans and picks here shortly. So we are pretty close to getting stuff ready for you guys. So yeah, like I was saying, Kanarogh seems like solo leaning on the preference. To shout out MJ and some of his accomplishments, other than a 2-4 loss to Ducky, they went 12-0 in all other songs that they played in the group stage. They had 2 FCs of Sulfur, also FC'd Fly High, Ride Low, also had a On Stirring Seas FC, as well as a +1 Overstrum on Final Boss 2. So honestly, with Sulfur and Fly High from both of these players, you could see a little bit of a nice overlap in skill ability here. So yeah, we'll see.
All right, we have the bans in, and MJ has decided to defer, and I think that is either a flex or a bit crazy. I think deferring in this playoff format with this song difficulty it's a move.
Well, we will see who takes advantage of it. So it is going to be MJ deferring early, which means that Kanarogh has to ban first, which in theory could be an advantage for a higher seeded player if they're like, oh, I'm thinking of a couple songs I might ban, but I'll see if they ban it first. But what that does is that gives Kanarogh the first pick, and they go right into Full Speed X live. So a solo pick out of the gate for Kanaro.
Yeah,
Or Kanarogha. But
I'm
we
gonna
actually
go,
will take a second.
I'm
We
gonna
have some
go-
technical difficulties.
I'm gonna go with what chat our Brazil. We have some Brazilian friends in chat, and I am going to go with just Kana because I think it's a lot easier, and it won't make me feel bad if I mispronounce.
If we can go with Kana, I'm going with Kana.
Kana.
But Kanarogha is what we'll go with. Kana, Viva Kana.
Vamos.
Although Vamos Kana is probably what we're looking for.
Yeah, Vamos Kana is exactly what we're going
Lo
for.
siento. Lo siento.
The Brazilian contingent is out in force in the chat, and we welcome them. We welcome them. I'm excited. I think having your friends cheer you on in the Twitch chat, super great.
Love it. We've all been there. Shout out to everybody who's come out to support their friends they know. Always appreciated. Welcome in. Competitive clone hero for you here. We're in the playoffs. Single elim. We're best of 7. Number 31 seed MJOnti versus number 38 seed? I had it written down somewhere.
It's 31-34.
Seed. It's 31-34. Sorry about that. It was the one number I didn't write down on this piece of paper. 31 seed
That's
MJ.
quite okay.
34 seed Kana. Gonna be a good one. We're starting with Full Speed X. The deferred ban leads to Kana having the first pick. Let's see how it plays out. First defer of the playoffs.
Yeah, this is a bold move. Will it pay off for, I like to say MJOnti. I don't know. It feels really fun.
MJOnti? Yeah, that's what I used to go with all the time.
Or MJO I've heard say.
I'm sure that there are plenty of MJ fans out there on TikTok right now. I don't know if he's streaming actually.
I don't know. I think you got to have full attention on a match like this. I mean, unless that's also just like a disrespect flex on the opponent, like saying, I'm going to be streaming in 2 places.
It could be, or again, you could just be setting the vibes you're used to. If you like playing on the stream and that's where you're most comfortable, make it happen.
I hate playing on my own stream, but that's just live, personal. MJ is live. Honestly, like streaming it, I always feel like the level raises of like discomfort of being like, I have to play well. People want to watch me play well. The level of concentration needs to be up, but maybe that is a comfort thing.
It could be. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, obviously, it does seem like a pretty bold strategy. We can ask MJ after the match, actually, about that decision. And for those who might not know, deferring means that the higher seed has the option to ban first. They also have the option to just say, I don't want to ban first, let the other person ban. So that's what he did. That gives the other player the first pick as well. But we're right into it. We'll go no further on that because we got a match to get to. Full Speed X, first song of 7. Kana's pick. Starting off well. Lefty. Shout out the lefties out there. Kana representing there as well. Oh, yeah. Missed the phrase though. So MJ early lead on star power phrases.
I do love Kana's highway and button color combo matching with the name across.
Yeah, that is cool.
Coordination is insane there.
Shout out Brazil.
This would be interesting. 2 players who, from what we could tell, the tail of the tape, very good on solo. All right, I like that right there. Kana. I like that from Kana, waiting for a second to try to get the overlap that you know is coming.
Not quite gonna get it there. The idea was there, didn't quite get it. MJ will get it. Yeah.
I like that going, hey, I missed a praise. Let me kind of wait a second and activate later. That intelligent move from Kana.
Really close in terms of no stint between those two. Kana with the star power advantage as of now, and they're going to need it, but that miss there from MJ is also going to help their case when it comes to coming back. And a little Mike Orlando-ness here.
I mean, it's so tight, we're not even halfway through the song. This could go either direction. It's almost like a coin flip at this stage.
If this is any indication of how this match might go, we're in for a real treat to finish off stream here. Another drop there from MJ, just another small one. Not missing the phrases, though. full bar now for Kana. 3/4 bar for MJ. There's the act and the response.
Yeah, unfortunate though, kind of dropping like immediately, but then MJ dropping it.
Kana getting the overlap, MJ not getting that overlap. Kana now with the lead, doesn't have the star power advantage anymore, but they do have that lead.
Yeah, and I mean the lead is just so slim too at any miss here, but we're only halfway. This could change dramatically. Chimney time.
Chimneys.
Oh,
Barely. Almost had it right at the end. Missed there from MJ though. That's a missed phrase.
yeah, kind of missed though as well, but the phrase get is huge. I think the
Absolutely.
star power activation that they are ahead could lead to the gaining back the lead in the match score-wise.
I mean, it is still anyone's game. I mean, we saw how that match went last. We saw how this song went last match when the lead changed 3 times in the last solo.
Yeah.
So we're coming up on it.
Okay, Kana gets the overlap, and that they might maintain this lead through star power. It's hard to say.
But there's a lot on MJ's plate. So MJ will end up taking it back and maybe a little bit on the top with that solo bonus. Not too much though. It's a little more than a 1 miss lead now for MJ.
Yeah, but if I'm Kana, I take that.
Oh, for sure.
Coming back from down 30k to close the gap on 7 going into the final solo. Take it every day of the week.
Final solo time. Tapping section right here, and it's going to come back.
Okay, I'm surprised both players didn't act earlier there, but...
Oh, nice overlap by both. Who's going to get out of this?
Oh,
Kana with the first drop.
And another drop.
Man. MJ nailing that section.
Yeah, MJ was a little bit shakier early on, but really turning up the level of play in the final solo.
MJ definitely turning up here. All the way up to a 1,000 note streak. Going back into chimneys. Similar, or same on star powers at the moment. Phrase is huge. Both hit that very important phrase.
And if I'm not mistaken, one more phrase to collect, and then there will be a final activation. 24k, not an unattainable deficit. It's definitely clawbackable.
Both players are killing this solo. Oh my gosh.
I mean, we've seen all 6 players on this tonight just absolutely raise the roof. The bar is super high. There's the overlap. Is it going to be enough for Kana?
Gonna be still about a 20k lead. 1,500 straight for MJ is gonna solidify that one. Both players cracked the 1,000,000 point mark, but it is gonna be MJ on a 16:01 outro note streak. Takes song number 1.
MoosePickles, I may have not said the bands. Kana has banned Cracks of Light, and MJ has banned SCQN. Thank you for asking that in the chat. I'm sorry if we missed that. A lot of things going on. We have somebody in the chat just saying, Respira, if I'm not mistaken, that is breathe. Just letting Kana know breathe. Take it easy. You might have lost one.
Sure.
It's okay. I mean, MJ turned on the afterburners, though. Looked so shaky in the front half that just went, hold on. Give me a second. I'm dialed.
And it's a great shout by whoever said breathe in the chat, because this is where the pressure could be at its highest. You have the deferred ban from MJ allowing Kana, maybe not expecting to have first pick, to then have to make that first pick immediately out of your comfort zone. Then you get that stolen from you. You might feel a lot of pressure in this moment. So to breathe and take a second and relax, very important. We're going right back to solos. They're playing the hits here. Kana, Miss You and Impossible is the next pick.
Solo. Yep, and the next person in chat just saying, for everybody who's not a Portuguese speaker, the next one is yours. You're calm, you can. I love that. They're great words of encouragement from friends. You're calm, you can. Yeah, like, Kana might not be in the chat reading, but I mean, to see the encouragement, or even just know the encouragement there, you gotta feel that as a player.
Oh
It's
my
great.
gosh, yeah.
These are so hard. Everyone's made it
Yeah.
look so easy tonight. These are not
Yeah.
easy.
Not at all. Not at all. Oh, the miss under star power there. A little more costly than a regular miss. So even with the star power advantage that MJ had, it's only about a 10k point lead. Both FC the drum fill.
Yeah, and I know both players got pretty wildly off path on the last one. I don't know if that's just lack of studying of the path, or rather like a couple misphrases led to just kind of going for feel rather than trying to come back, but...
Oh my goodness. And Hannah. What a solo. Both perfect solos, but Kana with about 650 note streak right now really has settled in and taken that breath that they needed to, because they are now in a nice rhythm here, and they're just about even. I think MJ has a slight lead because of Whammy on star power, but it is a 2k lead for Kana as of now.
Yeah, and again, in these hard triples, it drops right away during the act, though. But the lead could be worse. It's only going to be about 8k. That's manageable, certainly.
Man, yeah, it's so close. It might just be my eyes playing tricks on me. There's the miss there. I was going to say there's a star power difference slightly because of Whammy, but it's not going to be as important if you keep missing. Both hit the phrase, drop there. Kana is ripping this right now.
Yeah, had like a 600 note streak before dropping and then going right back into another almost 500 note streak. It's always nice to see, dropping and getting right back on the horse. MJ's drops, when they have come a little bit closer together, and that's really where the point difference has come from. 1K. 1K.
It's a 1K point difference. And despite the note streaks, MJ's pathing, keeping him right in this and in the lead at the moment as we're about to hit the third of the song.
Yeah, both players almost right on top of each other with the star power. Barring any misses, I think we'll see the same about 1K lead. Kind of, again, not getting an overlap there. I don't know if that's advantageous.
I mean, both of these players showing a impressive propensity for soloing right now. There's the act from Kana. Overlap? Yes, they will.
Not sure if that's just a comfort overlap. Really not very note-dense section, but... I mean, MJ activating pretty much the same. I don't know if it matters much in this solo with just the speed that it's coming at.
Well, there's the lead shift, and it's gonna be less than a 10k lead, so it's ripe for the taking for anyone. We are nearing the end here. MJ in the lead here, could make it 2-0. A little tricky here with these open notes. There's the activation from Kana. Will they get the overlap? Yes, they will. Drop there from MJ.
Drop is huge from MJ. Oh my goodness.
Under the star power is gigantic. Oh man, is it gonna be enough?
It might just be
not
enough.
Kana is gonna take it. It's 1-1.
And the Brazilian contingency has to be going wild. Vamos. 1-1, my goodness.
Love it. What a match. -13, 5 more notes missed, but the 1583 note streak is what ends up carrying I wanted to say the whole one and I forgot what it is because I stopped saying it, so I'm going to stick with Kana. Fantastic performance.
I don't know if that's a
Kanarogha.
good attempt to say it, but I'm going to try. Gosh darn it. That was so close again. I think all of these are going to come down to the wire. I mean, even full speed could have come closer. Like the 20 to 30k difference or 40k full speed doesn't really tell the full story.
I mean, it's a remarkable response from Kana to have the fortitude to not freak out and to clutch that out. Super close, but we're going now to Chemical Warfare 110. I know MJ has spent a good amount of time playing console songs in the past, so this doesn't necessarily surprise me. A lot of reset strumming, and we've seen only solos so far, so let's see who's got the strum advantage on Chemical Warfare.
Yeah, that was, I mean, we've seen so many good close close songs matches. What interchangeable terminology? I think
Sure.
this, depending on if this is in Kana's wheelhouse, this could be very close as well. But we kind of saw darkbloom struggle, the lower seed struggle on this with the really technical strumming bits, and I think MJ's console experience might pay dividends here.
Yeah. Although the console version does have you strum through a lot more, just that ability to reset is really tested a lot in those console charts. So I think point well taken as MJ maintaining that 500 note streak to open up the song.
Yeah, and only a 9K lead. It's this song, the swings aren't as violent as they were in the solo song, certainly.
For sure.
Which is odd for a song about warfare, that the swings aren't as violent, but it's neither here nor there, I suppose.
The most peaceful chart we've seen so far is Chemical Warfare.
You can't, you just can't make these things up, folks.
You just can't make it up. Yeah, and MJ is looking absolutely locked right now on this one. First pick for MJ. As soon as I say it, there is the miss.
Yeah, and this it's very weird because this part here with just these long sustains is probably the part where you can gain back the most if your opponent misses.
That's
just
true.
Just by the nature of the way that the score engine in these games works. It's very intriguing to me.
So
You
the
think,
last
oh,
couple
it's the
matches,
best.
I was sorry to interrupt. I was going to say in the last couple matches, we've seen the activation come early in this section from all the players, all the top seeds. This time, both players waiting until this portion right here to activate.
Yeah,
So we'll
I
see.
mean, both definitely off of what I believe to know as the path. I'm sure MoosePickles will let us all know in the Twitch chat.
I'm sure.
That's kind of what I think. That's kind of makes some of the best clone content, where both players are just flying by the seat of their pants. It's fisticuffs. It's a dogfight.
Well, it's going to be a dogfight here. Coming up on the solo.
Yeah,
It's
both
a
players.
20k point difference.
Yeah, both players opting not to act in the solo, as MoosePickles did earlier tonight. And probably just a consistency thing. Wow.
But Kana does not get that star power phrase. MJ does. Even though they hit more of the notes in that section, it is going to be MJ who's going to reap the benefits by getting that phrase.
I mean, the missed phrase here could be very huge now, down about 25k.
Yep. And that outro could also benefit Kana as well. It's such a fast solo. Both players hanging in there. MJ maintaining that lead ever so slightly. There is the activation by Kanarogh. Or Kanarogha. I gotta remember it's Kanarogha.
Just say Kana, it's fine.
No,
I
but you know,
agreed
it's-
on this.
I can't.
Yeah,
I'll give
MJ
it a full
activating in a bit,
one.
drummy bit of what you've referred to as the crust.
Yes, and both players love crust here. Very nicely done out of that solo.
Yeah, I think though, for Kana, gonna need like MJ to overstrum every other set.
I've got to say, really impressive on the ability to maintain composure and get into the rhythm of the resets here by Kanarogha, keeping it close, because if you keep it close enough for long enough, that gives that other player enough time to get nervous about that lead.
Yeah, it's been 26k for a hot minute, and it's only gonna get closer now.
Yep. Tricky section here, miss there from MJ again, under star power, pretty big miss there. Can Kanarogha take advantage? Running
Yeah,
out
I
of
was
time,
waiting for the
another miss.
activation. Oh, another miss as your opponent activates star power as well. But a miss from Kana under star power.
even on star power, within 20k, still not out of it yet.
Yeah, only clawed back 5k in that. Could have maybe clawed back 8 if they didn't miss under star power.
Yeah.
It's still anything's possible here. MJ dropping. Oh,
And the
Kana
response,
dropping, MJ dropping. It's a whole
Tom and Jerry
match.
misses.
Oh my goodness.
I think MJ might make it out alive on this one, just barely. Hangs on as we approach the end. Yep, that'll do it.
Yeah,
MJ on the first pick. We'll take it. It's 2-1.
Just barely escapes the trenches with the gas mask on, does MJ there. That was very hairy. Both players 18 notes missed.
Wow.
It just the overstrums for Kana were
Yep.
so much higher. 9 more overstrums, really the tail of that.
It
And
really was.
MJ had more phrases as well, but I mean, could have gone either way. That was.
It's a heck of an effort by Kanarogha, who, again, like, going into this, I'll be frank, I was thinking, oh, like, 2 solo picks out of the gate, they're definitely, like, super solo heavy. I'm a little concerned about the strumming, but man, for a song that fast for that long and with that many stops, I mean, 18 overstrums might seem like a lot, but it's really not.
I don't think Kana hates strumming.
I don't think so either. Not with that pick. Buried by Time and Dust is the pick.
Yeah. That is a I don't mind strumming pick, because this is the Strummina to end all Strummina of this set list.
Absolutely. It is certainly big time strumming stamina on this one.
I mean, by the end of this one, it's like, I feel like I go into this as Ewan McGregor, and I finish this song as Alec Guinness.
Is anyone going to get that?
I believe they will. I feel like I'm buried by Time and Dust after this song.
After that reference, I feel like I'm buried by Time and Dust.
Okay, alright.
All right. Song number 4, the crucial difference between 3-1 versus 2-2. You're going to see a lot of strumming here, folks. This is straight line strumming as straight line strumming goes. It is a stamina and endurance test. Who's got it and who doesn't?
Yeah. You certainly will not see any taps. No big solos. Nothing crazy. No chimneys certainly in this one.
No, absolutely not.
I think very soon we are going to approach the fatigue point. There are taps in this, of course there are. Come on.
We'll see how the... Ooh, okay, so the overlap there for MJ, no for Kana. Now, this was Kana's pick. Is there supposed to be an overlap there?
I believe they were supposed to wait for 3 star powers before they activated. I think they only waited for 2. The star powers are really far, like, they're spaced out pretty far in this compared to some of the other charts we've seen.
Well, I will say that miss is going to do a whole lot for Kanarogha's chances. They are down, but they do have that star power advantage, ever important, and there are plenty of spots to activate here. Even if you're not on path, if you just activate the strumming, you're going to get a lot of points.
Overlap not wanted, thank you MoosePickles, but also I believe you just want to make sure you get 4 activations and you're hitting the notes in those 4 activations.
So here comes a potential for some stamina issues. Really long stretch of strumming here.
Yeah, this is very insane from both players.
Kanarogha, 1,500 straight. MJ with 1 drop and has hit everything else.
Arms like iron.
Oh yeah. Both players have got to be sweaty right now. Activation there from Kanarogha.
Yeah, I think Kana knows the path for this one. That looked perfectly on path. And there'll be 1 more activation then out of Kana with the 10k lead.
That star power activation will get MJ closer. I don't think on straight line it's going to quite make up the full difference. I could be wrong. And there, out of the break, both players really strong. Kanarogha approaching 2,200 straight. There
Yeah,
it is.
and those kind of nervous breaks when you've been strumming for that long can be so easy to overlap.
Yeah. Oh, and those 3 as well. Both players ready for it and hit it. Oh, it's really close now after the star powers even out. But it is Kanarogha with a lead.
This is so tough here. This is just like, arm is giving out, must consistently hit. Please just let me finish the song.
And both players not missing on that little break. And again, oh man, just stay consistent. Wow, there it is. Kanarogha, FC, and we're tied again.
I mean, MJ with just 2 misses as well. That was closer than you'd like to go with. What an FC, though. That is not an easy FC. It is so hard to stay consistent for that long.
Yeah. Even with the chart, there was an updated chart released after the setlist came out that fixed some of the inconsistency. There's some really weird time signature stuff that happened that was kind of ironed out a bit. But man, even with that change, still really tricky, tough stamina check. Kanarogha was ready to go, had it in the back pocket, saved it until song 4, and it paid off big time.
Clutch. That was like Neymar to like the top corner of that clutch.
Literally. And here we go. The 3rd solo pick has been made. It is Little Red Riding Hood Etude Tableau, Opus 39, number 6, performed by Michael Ponti. There you go. For everyone who wanted the full.
Thank you.
No problem.
We missed that the last time.
I got you, chat. You're welcome.
Oh.
Don't get used to it.
I think this does make a lot of sense here for MJ. I'm gonna agree with Moose in chat. I think it's gonna be really telling the what big hands section is gonna be a make or break.
It really is. Man, it's a bold pick. It's a very confident pick from MJ, considering that Kanarogha's 2 picks were solos. Now, MJ did steal one of those, so actually you can understand why the pick was made. But man, both players really nice on this intro right here.
Yeah, and I think Kana on the path there. That was where you want to be active.
And the points
But
tell the story.
I think, no, maybe it's not looking for the overlap there. Just early act from MJ. Yeah, that.
It's about a 2K lead now for Kanarogha. And I mean, again, the interspersed chording in this, the chord check is real. First miss there from Kanarogha, right on the act from MJ, waiting until the higher note streak to activate there.
Kana
Here we
really
go.
needed that overlap there. Because you need that overlap to get this overlap, and then all the overlapping makes sense. But MJ dropping in what big hands here?
Activation there, both drop. Can someone be more consistent than the other? And it's going to be MJ out of it, a little more consistent, and with the lead in this 5th song here, winner of this makes it 3-2.
Yeah, this
in
is such
their
an
favor.
awkward song with the fretting, the tapping.
Strumming the taps.
Yeah, I think MJ just was very confident on this, and it's showing.
Wow. And just it's really hard with these tap notes. For those who don't know, it is so hard to strum confidently on tap notes on this engine. You can get your strums eaten or not eaten, and it's really kind of a feel thing you have to get used to. That's very unlike anything else you see in normal charts that involve hammer-ons and strums. And it's going to be MJ. Getting out of it with the dub, it's going to be 3-2 now. Game point for MJ.
Yeah, and MJ did not have the pathing advantage there, but the consistency factor, a huge play. All right, if I'm Kana, I've got one shot here at the net. What am I taking?
Well, You do have tiebreaker control as well, if I'm not mistaken. There's been 3 solos, a hybrid, and a strum. So if a hybrid is picked, if I'm not mistaken, a strum is the tiebreak, and if a strum is picked, hybrid tiebreak would be the tiebreak. And Kana is going to need it if they want to pull this one off. Their season, their tournament is on the line, and they're going with a new world. It is the hybrid pick, the power metal song, so the strumming is going to come in handy. Kanarogha has shown ability in strumming and in soloing, both prevalent here, but MJ also no stranger to power metal, for those who know, so this could go either way.
Yeah, I was really hoping we'd see Scale of Sorrows, which I think is that it's stamina and it's also break strumming, and there's a lot there, but I think this maybe is probably the more consistent chart for most players.
So strum tiebreak is on the table. For reference, we saw no strum tiebreakers all of last playoffs, and the playoffs before, as a matter of fact. So in the last 2 open tournaments, there has not been a strum tiebreaker. We have a chance here, or we have MJ moving on to his single elim, so this could be the last song for Kanarogha. Can he stay alive for one more song?
It is. I can't make any prediction one way or the other. In 4.5 minutes or so, thereabouts, the answer will be definitive.
Here we go. Both players looking strong so far, and I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of that this song. Both players have put on a wonderful performance on all the charts, so this should be a good one.
Yeah, and do you think that kind of can discover a new world here, take us into the tiebreaker?
Boo this man.
Yeah, that was terrible. I'm sorry. Boo earns. They're saying boo earns.
They're saying boo earns. Coming up on the first activation here, there is the activation from Kanarogha.
I think MJ following, I think.
If that's the case, that could be massive. But MJ with the lead now.
I have no idea what kind of squeeze happened there. There must have been one more squeeze. I think Kana went a little late on path as well, but
could be. Yeah, it looks like about plus 400 is what I'm hearing. But I'm going to be honest, I don't expect the double FC here. If we see it, that'd be amazing. But
oh no! Did Kana's guitar break or something? What has happened?
MJ has also stopped. We could be seeing a gentleman's restart here. I don't know if we were past the 30-second mark or not. But
certainly
MJ,
we were, but
I'm sure that MJ is feeling that a restart on a song of this importance seems reasonable.
I think if you're going in fair, to be fair with your competitor, I think a gentleman's restart here if they can get their hardware back in working order, because that was an out of the blue breakdown.
Well, here we go.
We are restarting. I don't know, did they unplug? And unplug, something must have happened. Oh, well, the tension's not relieved. If anything, the tension's heightened now.
Oh, for sure. And both players now get a second chance at that first activation. We'll see if the result changes.
Yeah, discovering a new world again.
So we're hearing it was an issue. There's a really bad spike, which is right on the border, but absolutely very good sportsmanship from MJ to allow that restart. If I'm not mistaken, MJ had full control of whether that restart happened or not, right away opting in for that. So claps for MJ, certainly.
Yeah, and I mean, you definitely never want to take like what might be construed as a cheap win. You know, I think that's very sporting of MJ.
Certainly.
What am I, British? Very sporting? The man, we're getting crazier as the night goes on.
We are. We're getting into silly hours. but it is MJ coming out of that activation, just like the first time, ahead. In fact, might actually be a larger lead now.
Yeah, MJ came out way better that time.
So the restart not proving to be in Kanarogha's advantage on that activation. So we are now back where we were, if not a little more so in MJ's favor. So we're definitely back on the same timeline here, I would say.
Yeah, this is like, it's crazy that MJ just ended up essentially even having more advantage.
So we have broadcast booted from the server. So we are going to live broadcast this on the fly. I'm going to stream on Discord so the broadcast can see. Vagu, describe what's happening.
Yeah, both players still on an FC as they're coming into another activation in the triple set of chords. Both players activating. Kana just a bit earlier than MJO here. Both players getting an overlap. The lead is still 3K for MJ. Both players on 12:59 coming into the next strumming section here.
Yeah, so long strumming bit here. Broadcast will let us know when we are back on screen. Apologies for this, but it is still a close one. Nobody's missed anything yet. It is MJ. Very close.
Radio. I better put on my radio voice, demand.
Unbelievable stuff right now. Both players doing very, very well. I'm gonna try and make sure that stays up.
MJ still following. So Kana could maybe try like a bait activation as well.
Yeah, okay, so now MJ ahead by about 4,000 points. They're still doing just 4-note strumming bits. And you guys can see it now, I think. As we get to the harpsichord section, miss from MJ,
Oh my goodness,
and
Mr.
Kanarogha
MJ.
is going to take the lead. Just barely. Oh my god, it is so close.
And they both activate right in the solo, but Kana misses.
Miss from Kana,
gets the
overlap from Kana,
Gets the overlap.
has the
That's huge.
lead. No, they don't with the miss. Unbelievable. MJ still in the lead.
No way. This is too hard to tell. However, Kana is going to have that advantage of that overlap. And they're going to get one more activation. I don't know if MJ's going to.
Oh my goodness, that could change everything. It is oh man, it's a 17k lead, but is an activation of difference going to be enough? If there's one more phrase.
MJ will get one more phrase, but is that quarter bar going to be enough?
I don't know, especially with the whammy, it's going to be tough. There's going to have to be a miss, I think, as well.
Yeah, the Kana's praying for a miss. The Brazilians in chat are praying for a miss. I'm kind of praying for a miss. I'd love to see a tiebreaker.
Both overlap there. MJ staying strong, 700 straight now out of that solo.
Oh no,
We have
I
reached
think
the
that's
end.
gonna be it.
It was an unbelievable match, but it comes down in favor of the veteran MJ. After a remarkable match by both players, the 100% overstrum to clinch the match. Unbelievable by MJ. What a match.
And Kana just solo 2 was just unfortunately dropping. I think all 6 of the misses were dropped in solo 2. That solo will probably live to haunt them for at least a short period of time. Hopefully not the rest of their life. But that's so tough.
It's a really, really tough pill to swallow here. So close to the tiebreaker, 11,000 points away from a tiebreaker. But you've got to give it up to MJ. 100% on their pick is insane.
Yeah, I mean, MJ Clutch, and I'm glad we could get it back on stream. I know we've been having some technical difficulties tonight, but my goodness, that match had everything and almost had a tiebreaker. I mean, Kana's got to feel at least pretty good about that. Can't feel bad about that. I mean,
no, not at all. And we get the 2 players in now. And we were also bringing in Lunatic, who was very graciously be acting as our translator for Kanarogha.
Hello.
Congratulations to both players. I'm going to start with MJ. MJ, what a win. What a performance on that last song. 100% overstrum.
Yeah.
How did you feel going into that? I actually want to know how you felt after the restart.
Okay. Honestly, I'm pretty comfortable with the song choice. So it kind of fell into my hands with the pick, and I mean, I'm kind of lucky that they picked that specific song. But anyways, it usually kind of puts you in a mindset of like, well, I didn't miss up until that point. So there is that off chance that I do accidentally overstrum or I miss a section after the restart, but thankfully that didn't happen. I also got a better read on an activation too, which actually helped me quite a lot through the rest of the song, getting like about a 5,000 point lead. And even after missing a note later, or actually overstrumming later in the song, I was still ahead by a few hundred, which I mean, wouldn't have happened if we didn't get that restart. So, I mean, it was unfortunate. I mean, it does kind of cloud your mind a bit with the potential what could have been if we didn't end up restarting. But it was in my favor this time, and I'm pretty grateful for that.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable performance by both of you. This one's for Kanarogha. Just really, really well played match overall, front to back. How do you feel about how you played in the match today in the playoffs?
Que jugaste muy bien por toda la partida y quiero saber cómo has sentido esta partida y por todos los playoffs.
Sí, me gustó muchísimo, pues es una fase muy buena para mí entrenar, entrar en ese torneo, y para mí fue una experiencia muy buena, y jugando también con los pro players, que fue para mí una emoción estar entre ellos, mientras ellos.
Yeah, just having a lot of fun playing in playoffs and getting to play among all the pro players that have shown up here. It's just been a very fun experience for him.
Well, I just want to say that not only was your performance kind of really, really strong, and we're sad to see that this was your last match because you just played so well. But the FC on Buried by Time and Dust, insane. The soloing throughout, insane. And for MJ, for you to match it as well and play as well as you did, what a phenomenal match for us to watch.
Que están muy tristes que esta va a ser tu final partida del torneo y que el full combo del Buried Between Time and Dust fue muy increíble.
Sí, la estamina fue y quedó para allá. Pero fue muy buena. Estoy muy feliz por eso, por regresar después de 3 meses. Regresé a jugar hace 1 mes y medio, entonces estoy acostumbrando de nuevo cómo jugar y no sabía cómo guardar los paths. Entonces yo tuve que aprender cómo hacer eso y fue genial eso.
Yeah. Just coming back after 3 months, only having been back in the game for about a month and a half,
Wow.
and having to learn how to sort of save and learn paths within that month and a half, and getting used to the game again.
Yeah. Vagu, go ahead. Questions for the players.
I'm going to start with Kana, and then I'd like to end on MJ. Kana, that was fantastic. Buen trabajo. That was a great match. I'm also sorry to see you go. What have you taken away from this tournament experience?
Que hiciste muy buen por este partido y que también está muy triste verte jugar tu final partida y
Ajá.
que has aprendido, básicamente. ¿Qué has aprendido de todo el torneo?
Yo aprendí que yo siempre tengo que hacer mi mejor, pues eh, ese torneo tiene muchas personas que hacen 100% en el full combo, entonces yo aprendí que tengo que mejorar mucho, pues yo veo ellos jugando y sé que ellos son muy buenos, entonces yo tengo que quedar cerca o un poquito mejor, pero fue muy cool.
Yeah, basically just having to, like really step up their skill with all these players getting, all these FCs and playing at such a high level, just really having to improve himself.
I think I'm hoping we haven't seen the last of you.
Yeah.
And I think if your game takes another step up, danger. Watch out, everybody.
Yeah.
MJ, the reset. Obviously, that became a big factor, resetting on a new world.
Yeah.
Did you ever even consider for a fraction of a second just
Saying it's too late into the
yeah,
song?
saying it's too late into the song, or were you already like, okay, hold up,
no.
let's reset?
No. I am always down for a reset. I will never put it past anybody. If you have whatever technical difficulty, I mean, I respect that. And I also just like respect the player and respect that they wouldn't do it with any ill intention. And I mean, yeah, if it's at the end of the day, like it's a game. Like I'm not going to I'm not going to just continue the match if there was any legitimate issue that could have happened that was out of their control.
No, certainly, I love that. That's great sportsmanship. I mean, good guy MJ in chat. How do you feel about your matchup with the 2 seed coming up in Nados?
Oh, I mean, I've already been told and have seen how insane of a player NATO is, and I think it helps me and has helped me in the past. Just anytime I am up against someone that is just without a doubt at a higher skill level than I am, it's exactly what happened when I first started playing in the CSC matches in 2023. Same thing in 2024. I mean, there's basically always going to be someone better than you, and it just solely depends on how you handle that. I think for my case, I just need to polish up on a couple things, but if I learn a couple paths, I feel like I can probably knock out at least get a couple songs off of NATO. It's also a bit jarring or not jarring. It's also a bit nerve-wracking that I don't think a single person has predicted that I will get past NATO. And I love that. I love a good underdog story, and I hope that I can carry carry the big ego that I usually have going into these matches throughout the entirety of the match, me versus NATO.
Well, it's a great mindset to have. We're definitely really looking forward to it. And one last question, and this is for Kanarogha, this is the end of the line, unfortunately. You had a lot of fans. You represented Brazil very well, and they represented in the chat very well. Is there anything that you would like to say to your fans as your farewell from the tournament?
Que ya es el fin de tu torneo y que sí has representado a Brasil muy bueno y que pues obvio tienes muchos fans de Brasil que te han dado soporte. Y ¿qué quieres decir como tu despedida final?
Yo quiero agradecer a todos por esa oportunidad de ese torneo, pues fue en ese torneo que yo me puse a practicar, a querer estar aquí, a querer entrenar, a practicar y crecer, ¿sí? Pero yo quiero agradecer a todos, a los casters, a MJ, Vago, a tú, pues me ayudaste mucho, entonces yo te agradezco también muchísimo. Y a todos que
muchas,
están en el chat.
muchas gracias. He's very grateful for everybody that has shown up to support him, and really being able to show up to this tournament and want to be here and want to improve. And he gives thanks to, once again, everyone who has shown up and support, all of the refs, all of the casters, and to Luna, who has been helping translate. I've been helping translate through as many matches as I have been able to make it. Sadly, I wasn't able to translate the one during group stages that he had on stream because I was casting. So,
Luna.
yeah.
Huge round of applause for Luna in chat for that. It just
¿Alguna otra
it,
cosa?
¿Dónde?
Año que viene yo estaré mejor, entonces yo voy a enfocar en quedar mejor y mejor.
He'll be focusing on just improving, pretty much.
Nice. Well, hopefully we see you again, Kanarogha. Gracias por la tiempo. Is that time? Tiempo? I think so.
Muito obrigado.
Yes.
I said something correctly. All right. And MJ, congratulations on moving
Thank you.
forward. I am
You
very
too,
much
Sam.
looking forward to seeing your match against Natos for a chance at top 16. Winner of that gets a second life. So you might
Yeah.
be able to get that double elim. Anything can happen in a single elim with no boss songs. So best of luck to that. Hope to see
Thank
that
you.
on stream, whether it's on ours or elsewhere. Thank you both. Unbelievable match to close things out today. Great stuff. Couldn't have been better. So thank you both, and have a great rest of your day. And yeah, best of luck moving forward.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Welp, everybody, that will do it for today. It was an action-packed set of matches for you all, but it does have to end here. I am so sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it is time to go. And we can't thank you enough from all of us here on staff and all of us in the booth. Myself, Fagu, want a special shout out to Luna for reffing it all today, as well as translating, do a phenomenal job with that. Chrome, behind the bleeps and the bloops on broadcast, did a phenomenal job as well. Thank you to all the chatters as well, everybody who subscribed. It's all much appreciated. It helps us continue to do what CSC does. So that's always greatly appreciated. We are going to raid a member of the tournament. It's going to be Lefty God 999. If you're in the tournament and you have yet to play your match, the cutoff 16 matches, or for matches until top 16, so everything round 1 and 2 must be done by next Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. The only matches that can go past that are the ones that are going to be on that Saturday stream, so make sure to get your matches done now. The earlier you get them done, the more time you get to prep for the next matches. Keep that in mind. Make sure to get your matches in. I've been Deman, joined by Vagu. Thank you all so much, and we will see you again next time.